afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from me, your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda, Hero of Psych, Defender of the Fatherland. Off yet an exciting 1 vs 1 on the reintroduced map of Caen. Yes, indeed, it has returned with a few, shall we say, changes. Particularly, it's no longer dominated by these two cutoff points. There's been a few additional points added here and there, so it's not just all dependent on these two. Fun little note there. But the setting is 1944, somewhere in the Alsace-Lorraine region. The Americans are making slow headway here against the German army. The 6th Armored Division is penetrating into some city held by German forces under the command of Deimos, and the 21st Panzer Division here with Mobile Defense, Lightning War and Jaeger Infantry versus Crytek's Rifle Company, Heavy Cavalry and Airborne Company. Triple Infantry there, Machine Gun Infantry and Panzerfaust, noting he's actually got bulletins for fast infantry training, getting the Grenadiers at just a few seconds faster, alongside the MD-42, which he also gets at a few seconds faster, meaning he can just hit the dirt a bit faster, which as the Wehrmacht isn't entirely bad, since you usually due to having to build the infantry company, meaning you usually get your infantry out slower anyways than any other faction can do with whatever little advantage you can get. Crytek here wiring off around the cutoff point here in the northern square. Westwards, we've got riflemen across here, slowly advancing from America, Freedom and Democracy. MD-42 there with Oberleutnant, not Oberleutnant, but Obergefreiter Fritz there, spotting ahead. There's the Grenadiers following up there as fast as the little feet can carry them. This area's also been cleaned up a bit, I would say, by the looks of it. And he has also similarly been cleared out of it. Basically, they sort of opened up more of the terrain, while again ensuring it doesn't revolve around just two cutoff points, which was really one of the main issues of the map, was just so utterly focused on those two cutoff points. If you control them, you usually hat the match entirely just down. So this does give, I think, more options there for how we want to play the map out, which also helps out a bit, because repetitive maps tend not to be fun in the longer run either. But double Grenadiers there for Deimos, triple rifling here for Crytek. He's rifling up with the Pioneers there. Pioneers trying to fall back, desperately avoiding the line of 5 those Yankees. Except Fritz, there was a bit too slow. Grenadiers moving up here, in which case he can try and rush it. Grenadiers drawing the fire, in which case the Pioneers can then close in. But we'll have to see if he actually does. He's going to keep firing the... Oh, there we go. Switch over. I mean, what to try and flank up around here, getting behind the houses, then getting closer. That'd be an interesting move there from... Deimos, of course, can just leave the Grenadiers there to, well, get shot to bits. In this case, can have to fall back since more rifling around there. Crytek knocked down the fuel point, realising it's more important to actually win the engagement than getting the fuel point right away. Really good tactical sense. Some players will just have troops standing about, you know, grabbing territory, while literally not far away, someone else could actually do with some help. So, there's a guard. Crytek making, I think, some base shot prioritization here, forcing Deimos to react to this. Actually, this all of a sudden is men are converging in the centre here. We got more Grenadiers moving up, but he really needs the machine gun, to be honest, to really, I think, help with all these rifling, I think, more consistently. But there you go. Forces splitting out here a bit. He's trying to deal with this. Riflemen pulling a bit further away, so they're going to occupy the house here. Some intense fighting here. We'll have to see if Deimos considers another machine gun here versus Crytek. Versus a lot of riflemen. More machine guns tends to be good. On the hand, a map like Caen might make them feel less amazing. So that's certainly a few considerations there. Grenadiers moving up, more rifles actually not splitting up. This is a grab territory here. Perhaps a tactical area there by Crytek, which Deimos, of course, can seize with both hands and possibly a jackboot. Also worth noting, he has actually not secured the cutoff point up here, so while he had grabbed that one, Deimos actually cut that off. So right now he's gaining the resource. Then we're actually getting an early rifle up there. Excellent work there for Deimos. That's going to be huge. So there's the Americans, but as the Wehrmacht, you usually need to gain some sort of edge in the early game to ensure the Americans do not snowball you, because the Americans as a faction are very much built towards snowballing, thanks to the getting free units that are largely, if not better, sort of on the level of the riflemen there. So usually getting early wipes as the Wehrmacht is very important if possible. Otherwise you need to bleed them out aggressively, otherwise, but just doing a lot of damage to these sort of rifle scores on average, because otherwise they do have some very solid potential. They're just snowballing you out. So that's definitely, I think, a tactical victory there for Deimos that will resound a bit for a while. Of course, not for long either, since again, the Americans' ability to snowball also means any early wipes aren't huge, but again, they just prevent them from being snowballing, just snowballing usually again. It still matters, but it's not, say, as impactful as, say, you're getting a wipe against, well, any of the German factions, or the Russians, or the British, because they do not get free units while they attack. Grenadiers are pushed back by the riflemen. other grenadiers standing about. He might be waiting a bit about here. On a map like this, plus there's an opponent with a lot of riflemen, I'd probably suggest Lightning War Jaeger Infantry, to be honest, because the G43s on a map like this will be usually the weight worth in gold, which is, you know, good. In particular, the Jaeger Infantry could be particularly good due to the Jaeger Command Squad, which would be really good. Of course, Panzer Grenadiers would also, I think, be a very solid choice. Mobile defense can work, but again, I feel like just G43s here will be a very good upgrade, maybe with some light machine guns backing it up there. We got Crytek here with the Lieutenant. In good headway there so far, though Deimos is, after that what they're pushing ahead. He's got a lot more infantry on the field. 4 Grenadiers, 1 ND42. He's leading the charge, and again, would benefit from G43s. Hitting the curve point, hitting our fuel, very good. Crytek, they're advancing across the broad front. Of course, with heavy cavalry, he can lay down mines, he can set up sandbags. A few mines, I think, would be helpful here and there. And of course, Rangers could be an option. And on a map like this, Rangers would be particularly powerful, since again, there's a lot of corners, a lot of flanking paths, meaning a Ranger squad appearing from the wrong spot could be really nightmarish there for Deimos. Who has taken up? Stuttgart would like to make a nice company, some light vehicles, but also Panzer Grenadiers here would be very good, very handy. Got Lieutenant up against the Grenadiers there, closing in swiftly, getting some poor bastard of the Caen TKs, but ultimately it's not going to match. The Lieutenant's up close with the Bar and the Thompson. I mean, the Lieutenant, unless Deimos gets super lucky, they're going to win. And there we go, we've got the doctoral choice. It is Lightning War here for Deimos. G43s, tactical movement, relief infantry, Stuart close air support, of course the Tiger tank, all good options. Though again, personally, I'd probably aim for Jaeger infantry because the Jaeger command squad is really good. Particularly as the Americans, plus the ambush camouflage can also be very handy. But there you go, Crytek laying down a lot of mines. If Deimos paid attention to that, he will of course know that his opponent has gone for heavy cavalry, since I believe Crytek has no doctrines. Otherwise, it allows his riflemen to lay down mines. I don't think he had infantry anyways. If he did, there might be some room for there for shows the interpretation. But there you go, Deimos going for the 222, the lighter punches B-Wagon, to help corral and contain Crytek. Crytek thereby floating a lot of manpower. That's a bit worrying. I mean, if he used to go for 50 calibers there, half tracks, catchers, he definitely should be floating that much manpower. There you go, Rocket getting exposed to the MG42 as this flanks in. Very nice move there by Deimos. 222 almost done. 50 caliber on the way for Crytek. Of course, there's the possibility he's actually saving up for the Rangers and wants to ensure he can pop that button as soon as he hits those 3 command points. Or not. Although that is his plan, he should be pressing that button very soon. If not now. Now, Crytek. Guess the answer to that is no. Two there, good to go. You got sandbags up here. Good work there by Deimos. Got for minesweepers again. Normally you don't, but when you actually see your opponent laying down mines, you do. Because most American players just generally tend not to lay down a lot on mines. So if they, most of the time, as the Americans, you tend not to get punished for not going for minesweepers at all. But of course, you do see them laying down mines. You do get them. Still no Rangers there for Crytek, so it begs the question of what he's planning with all that manpower float, but guessing there's just some uncertainty there in Crytek's mind. But right now, though, Deimos can control the map, that he's locking down most of the vital points, digging in, and he's got a reserve here of the 2-2. They've each hit a mine, and again, Crytek's been laying down a lot of mines. Really thumbs up to that. We also got G for the Feast. We've got Punch going to be on the way there for Deimos. Very good choice there. It's going to put him at 5 infantry squads, which is definitely on the heavier end, in particular for the Wehrmacht, but not bad. In particular, as the Americans. Weapon racks up for Crytek. Still no Rangers. Still no Rangers. I do feel like he would benefit from some of those chaps. Fifth cover there being hauled forwards by Crytek, noting no anti-aircraft half-track being prepared here. Possibly partly due to the map's design, which isn't particularly amazing for anti-aircraft tactic in some ways. They might just want to rush out medium arm as fast as possible, which is also a possibility. Unless, of course, he's playing the captain and steward, I mean, that's, again, also an option. Particularly, a lot of players like to do that with the heavy cavalry. So we'll see what it ends up with here. Many paths are open for Crytek. It's just a matter of which ones you take. But so far, the Deimos is trying as much as possible to stomp them down and, you know, put a really big fat jackboot in the way. In the south, we got the MD-42 backing up a Pentagon of the assault. They're in fact setting up to cover up the advance. Nice tactical approach there by Deimos. Ensures the defenders are suppressed, allowing the Pentagon to easily close in. Very solid tactical approach there. Makes it much harder here for Crytek to actually manage a defense. Thorough work there. I like it. I like it. So there you go, advancing up the west. In the centre here, Crytek is not quite having the way he wants it. Still no ranges, but he can go for the bars now. Also going for bazookas, and there we go. We do finally get the ranges. I do feel like we could get those out sooner, but better late than never. As the rangers arrive to clear out the Krauts. Thompson's there being added. Very good upgrade. In terms of like overall effectiveness, in terms of the range, they're almost on the level of the Panzer Grenadiers assault rifles. So, I mean, if you know how to use Panzer Grenadiers, you usually know how to use Rangers. And if you do know how to do that, you can really do some damage. Of course, the Rangers are tougher and in some ways actually have a bit more DPS. But again, overall, just the 5-man squad difference there makes a big one there. So there you go, Rangers moving up. Here, Grenadiers need to fall back fast. I mean, if Deimos was in any remote doubt now about what, you know, he'd gone for, Crytek it is, he should not have any further doubts now. This is pretty much just Crytek waving a big flag that says, I'm going to go for a Pershing. Another mine there awfully close, and straight to the mine, almost losing the Grenadier squad there, pretty close shave there for Deimos, and the 21st Panzer Division. We got the reaction sneak up there with bazookas for some of the more ruined roads. Grenadiers here holding up against a larger force, but sadly, the lack of the numbers. And the machine gun from the Matter fall back in the east. Panzer Grenadiers machine gun then continue to do work there for the fatherland as the centre collapses here under Crytek's hammer blows. In the west, we're also seeing a bit of fresh movement there. Quick to lay down mines there. Good work by Crytek. Punishment of minesweepers. Tech of there for Deimos and Deutschland. Excellent, excellent. And Crytek is so far not concerned with the stuff happening on his flank. He's much more focused about just pushing ahead here. 2-2 with the Rangers. The Thompsons will not be able to do much against the 2-2. If he drives it straight up close, they move up a bit more awkwardly. The Rangers could have a small chance of doing some serious damage to the 2-2. Particularly again if you're exposed to the rearm, in which case they can do some actually nasty damage. So he should probably be careful up. There we go. Actually lost as the bazooka team arrives. I think Deimos there got a bit too confident, a bit too reckless, and yeah, a bit silly. So great work there by Crytek. Less stellar work there by Deimos, as he will be likely forced to reconsider his tactical approach there. About to lose the Western field, but again hits his armies to the Americans of the 6th Armored Division. Rather than pushing back those goddamn Krauts in the west here, Pioneers sneaking about there trying to find some sort of solution to this problem. In the far east, Panzer was the Lieutenant. Sturmgewehrs versus Bars and Thompsons. Lieutenant in this case having more experience, rather puts them in the head. Oh! Close one there. Don't know if they actually got upgraded with another bar, but it does not look like they were double barred. Could be wrong though. Yup, no bars additionally added. Still, double veterancy there of course makes it much harder for Panzer to deal with it unless they have the high veterancy levels as well, since Panzer Grenadiers get really good with veterancy. Just veterancy 1 makes them much harder to kill for enemy infantry, so it tends to be a really, you know, good thing just to get them there in the first place. Reaction Panzer Grenadiers, he's shooting up behind the ruins and some sandbags. Up north, Pioneers continue about. They're trying to cut off the fuel point again. Excellent consistent harassment there by Deimos. Finding around the centre here, Grenadiers from the eastern side. Machine gun actually a bit exposed here. Bit risky to be honest by Deimos. There we go. Rangers sweeping through. Still no support core there for Deimos, should probably be a bit more priority. He could also consider maybe fuel cache. Bunkers could also be a fun idea to consider this machine gun bunkers, so to lock down some more vital points. I think that could be a pretty good investment there for Deimos, to be honest, versus Crytek. As for Crytek, mines additionally would be in a great, more ranges, maybe they've got a lot of infantry. But I believe he's taking up there, which is definitely a good investment. Fuel caches would actually be really great, in particular on this car frontier. Could do Crytek and the 6th Armored Division a lot of good. Mission standby here with his rifleman. There you go, Rangers charging in there, leading the way. But now find themselves rather surrounded by Grenadiers and Panzergrenadiere. Bit of skirmishing, got land machines with the Grenadiers, but they're not in heavy cover, the Lieutenant is. So it's likely not going to be a win for them unless they get some troops up to assist fast, and there's just no one in the vicinity. Grenadiers squad about to wipe here. Deimos needs to retreat Schnell. He's got the Spommer crop that can go for the Panzer IV. Excellent, though he's still got a lot of manpower floating, and you know, fuel cache would be a solid choice in that direction. There we go, Grenadiers push back. They simply were no match against the Lieutenant in heavy cover. There you go, full wipe on Deimos. Unpleasant. More Panzer Grenadiers here would be, I think, a excellent substitution. But instead he goes for another MG42, which also works. Can lock down Serons and of course lock down infantry. Getting reinforcement there. Bit of skirmishing on his rifleman. And there we go. First Panzer on the way there. Deimos with the Panzerkampfwagen 4. G43 is murdering away. They could, by the way, consider interrogating some of those riflemen. Overlooked ability in part because it's so difficult to at times find someone to interrogate, but occasionally it can give you a bit of a tactical edge you need. But in this case, it's not happening. You know, Fritz, it's a bit of a shame with this interrogation training. Yeah, we're too good at our job and we end up just killing them before we can interrogate them. Yeah, it's a real shame. It's a real shame. You don't sound very sincere, Bernhard. You don't sound very sincere. Well, people always accuse me of that. It flows in the family. But there you go, big push in the west here for Deimos. Panzer IV following up. Rangers with the MG42. Oh, that is a really bad set over there. There's the Ranger squad, and there you go, quick grenade. In particular, the Rangers also has a grenade with lower cooldown, meaning they're much more likely to get a wipe. Very nasty little grenade ability there. Machine gun to cover the road. Here's the unit advances. Telemine's down as well. Very good. He's starting to worry about enemy armor, and of course trying to prepare and set up little small tricks to deal with the enemy. Nice setup there. There you go. Panzer IV strikes. Sends something floating there about for a few moments. Sadly not any Americans. But there you go. Telemine downground the pointy and seizing into the car point as well there. Very good. Very good. Still, fuel cache would be great, or maybe just to get additional Panzer Grenadier or something else. Bunkers will also be good at idea there. We got to push it for the centre. Attacking a fortified position there. Bazookas. Not the best move then. Deimos decides that actually is the case and falls back. At the same time, we got a flanking the Lieutenant behind the MG42. Nice work there by Crytek. Outmaneuvers Deimos aggressively. Got pencil there. This is the rifle. They almost got the wipe just alongside the Pioneers. Pioneers, I don't think, can quite get the wipe there. Side of the Minesweeper. While great at sweeping mines, is not great at much else. Panzer there was the Lieutenant. Oh, there we go. Nice hit from the Panzer IV. Blows out half the unit. This was a rifleman here. And there you go. Quick anti-tank rifle there to try and slow it down. Very good. Crytek not far from the Shermans. Floating a bit on manpower there. Definitely needs to look into that. Again, fuel caches would be an excellent choice. Finding positions could also be additionally a nice idea there. Rangers still almost getting a Pioneer wipe there. Almost close to vets need to as well there for Crytek. And Panzers there being suppressed. Need to retreat now. More Pioneers for Deimos. That's definitely a good investment. Crytek is going to become a more nasty from middle of opponent here for Deimos. Controlling the map better and giving Deimos larger headaches. It does help that Deimos isn't, you know, spending his resources effectively. Although, of course, now there's Crytek. So back here, reinforcement, healing, Pioneers and standby. Points being secured in the east, in the west. Rangers there, veteran 2, 5 kills. Pinlock machine for the Panzer would be a good choice, I think, there for Deimos. Crytek can now go for the Sherman, might as well just go for the Jackson tank destroyer. Gonna do something about it here. I mean, he could lay down a machine gun bunker, I think, around here. I think that'd be pretty good. And similarly, Crytek could benefit from a fighting position up here, fuel caches, similarly around here. I mean, plenty of good spots there for Crytek, just, you know, further dig in and make it harder for Deimos to just sweep through him. But right now, Crytek has more or less seized the entire map, turning the game around there against Deimos, who just, you know, not too long ago was in control of most of the map. So the tables have turned. The cows have come home to roost. MU-14 pushed back with Lieutenant Rifles about to flank in. Panther 4, they're almost good to go. Gonna do this the Rangers. MU-42 setting up. Panther sweeping in there. 7 kills, virtually 2. There we go. Rangers caught out in the open. Goddamn crouching the machine guns. That's not fair. Well, now there's our grenades, Captain. Shut up, Carl. I'll have you cleaning latrines again with grenades. There goes the press on the 5th Cap Jackson on the way there for Crytek. Pack 40 for Deimos. Both sides still would benefit from fuel caches. But at the same time, I mean, it's not like they're just suffering massive manpower bleeding either. I mean, they've still got with unit preservation. They're actually reasonably well on point, which is, you know, it's actually pretty nice. And it might be what's causing them just, you know, in the situation where they just have so much manpower they're not sure to spend on because they don't want to just, you know, keep getting more infantry. So it's sort of resulting in this weird situation where they're preserving the units well enough they're getting a big manpower surplus, but because they're probably not fully used to it, they're not sure what to do with it. Jackson almost done there for Crytek. And this was the advance of Rifle Lieutenant backing up here. Big push here from Crytek. Noting you could easily upgrade a lot more as Rifle with bars, which would of course be excellent here for Crytek. Would be excellent. And Gun 36 Jackson out here for Crytek for the 6th Armored Division. Ram sending about here, finding the rest of the Panther 4 or just hiding out, hoping the Panther 4 does not come their way. Deimos needs to push back, and there you go. Dublin 42's tearing apart the Lieutenant in the open. Rather going for the cup on their 2nd Panther 4 on the way for Deimos. There you go. Rifle on the move here to try and assault that Panther 4. Maybe get off some anti-tank rifle grenades. Jackson going to move from the north here. Oh, looks like an attempt here to maybe just get that Panther 4 out of commission. But we do have here Stuka close air support ready for Deimos, so it might not quite work out the way he wants to. And a unit got wiped out quite brutally. He's lost another Grenadier squad, so a bit of a problem here. And we got, there he goes to a close air support. He's going to try and take out the Jackson with it, or at least just force it away. By the looks of his movement patterns, he's clearly just trying to force it away there. Using the Luftwaffe here as a deterrent. Although they almost take out the Jackson on their own, which is not bad at all. Except if you're Crytek, in which case it is kind of bad. Thankfully, though, for Crytek, Deimos is not a further line of sight, in which case he cannot finish off the Jackson with the Stuka Kanonenvogel, as they were called, or gunbirds, or cannon birds, really. Panther 4 moving up here, 2nd one arriving here for Deimos, giving the arm advantage. Crytek still floating a lot of manpower. Really should be building some fuel caches there. Or anything really. I definitely am not a big fan of this kind of manpower float. Of course, again, I can't understand the apprehension because if he doesn't want to go for more infantry, there's not, in that sense, a lot of options. Particularly on a map like this, mortars might not do him a lot of good, though they could be helpful. But still, caches are a good idea. Again, if you find yourself floating manpower, build some caches. Panzers there being slowly assaulting to fall back here. And we got another Pack 40 for Deimos. He's starting to get worried here about enemy armor, which is an understandable worry. He's also been cut off from a lot of territory there. Panzer going to be being forced away. He's just considered there's more infantry soon. I mean, he's down to just, well, he's gone for some more grenadiers, but I think more Panther grenadiers would honestly doing better. Advancing here through the eastern ruins. Crytek shows no mercy. From getting glassed over the Panther 4. We got Grenadiers moving up here in the center. We've got Pioneers being almost wiped out. Yes, Crytek advances furiously for America. Panther doing the Lieutenant. Unit wiped out again here. It looks like some Pioneers bit the dust. There we go. Forgot to pull them out of the center. ground on the western side. They're very good for Deimos. Crytek really should be, you know, building some caches or some finding positions or something. He's definitely throwing field way too much. He's giving, I think, Deimos a good chance to get back to the game. Panther down to half. I've got Rifle advancing up against Grenadiers, Pack 40s as well. Machine gun wipe, which is definitely a problem. He's trying to rifle to preemptively catch unit, trying to go for it, but in this case the timing was a bit off here for Deimos, and Crytek has a good chance to get away with it. So another unfortunate development here for Deimos. Great for Crytek though, great for Crytek. Back here, nothing further going on. Grierson coming up, Panther 4 this, getting a nice hit. More Grenadiers there for Deimos, not Panzer Grenadier. And certainly again, had he, I think, gone for a field cache, should have probably bring up more armor now. As for Crytek, I mean, he can go for the Pershing theoretically, but he could also just build 2 fuel caches, get more fuel, go fast for the Pershing, of course still easily have the manpower for it, so he definitely needs to spend some manpower. There's something happening there with some reinforcement likes there, but still nothing serious. Rangers there, the tank through the Germans, veterans you fleet. Showing the worth there. Another push into the west. Deimos time to struggle a bit more. He needs more pioneers to repair the tanks, so he can quickly get them back into the action here versus Crytek and the 6th Armoured. More mines down there for Crytek, very good. Going for another Jax. We can certainly see now that something's happening with the resources, which is great. And there's need to be careful as a rifle, taking 9 losses. We've got 1 Panther moving up. They're staying at a respectful distance to avoid, you know, hitting a mine or getting hit with an anti-tank rifle grenade. Ooh, close right on the Grenadiers. Not quite though. Panzer there reinforcing, or he should be reinforcing soon. Jackson number 2 almost done there for Crytek for the 6th Armoured. Panther 1 the dealing with the advanced rifle, gaining veterans who won. Machine gun carrying up the centre, and we got Gunners up to go for the fuel point. Got a major there watching up, but not quite keen on actually going for it. And there you go, 2nd tank destroyer out, increasing the firepower of Crytek's arsenal of democracy. There you go. Straight into the Panther 1 Lieutenant's forced to reroute here. Bit risky, but really sort of not increasing or extending despite knowing there's numerous Panther forces out in the field. Something you have to be mindful of, as you always do risk, shall I say, some heavy casualties. There you go. Excellent hit from the Jackson the Panther 4. On the other hand, Deimos, of course, needs to be careful not to extend with his damaged Panther 4s. Again, more pioneers will be needed to keep this going, and there you go. Bring it off with the MD-42. And almost close to wipe there. Not really the best position. He's almost lost 2 machine guns in that spot. There really, I mean, this is maybe where you should be considering machine gun bunker or something to back things up. Should have flanked out around here, to be honest, behind the machine, started to move up the infantry straight into it. Definitely not a good move there by Deimos. Rangers moving up there, 20 kills so far. Panther Grenadiers with only 7. Rangers certainly improving their worth with their supreme firepower. Deimos and Panthers falling back here. I'm just going to probably need some Stooks here versus Crytek soon enough. Got a better chance versus these Jackson. There needs to be some other change. We've got the pack following up though, and decent hit there. The unknown is abandoned, which is not good there for Deimos, and not one bit. There you go, Sturmgeschütz on the way. Troops hitting reinforcing, a bit of harassment here behind enemy lines with the Grenadier as the front line collapses in the face of the rapacious American assault. Only 1 Pioneer squad to repair, 2 heavily damaged Panther 4s. That's going to be slow going there for Deimos and the German army. Crytek still would benefit a ton from fuel caches or fighting positions. Really a lot of things. Puncher moving up there against the rifleman. No, in this case he's trying to go about this, maybe sort of set up better sort of cover any potential retreat paths. Got the Rangers moving in though. He's going to have to, I think, try and pop a grenade here. I think at this stage Crytek could end up popping a grenade faster. 50 caliber coming of centre. Punchers there pushing back the Rangers just a tad. Push up the west. Bit of skirmishing in these. Panthers need to retreat now before the Rangers take them out. Cancel the Stoog. Is he planning another Panther? Or is he planning a target? I'm not entirely sure what Deimos is thinking with that. Gonna do this, they need to grab the cutoff point. The more fuel that Deimos can secure himself, of course, the better. Still no additional pioneers. He's closer theoretically than a third Panzer Fort, which with an incoming scat at the moment is certainly the only he can afford. A Tiger would be way too greedy there for Deimos. Way too greedy. There we go. Rangers pushed back here by the Panzer IV. Halfway to 2, and they actually got a wipe. So in this case, the Mega. Not a huge wipe, not something that's going to really leave Crytek sad and crying. Asking where it all went wrong. And if he's a bad person or something like that. It's just, the Major. He's gone. There we go. Third Panzer IV for Deimos. That's going to be a Panzer attempt at a comeback there. Still more pioneers to repair them. It's going to be absolutely critical here for Deimos. As for Crytek, I think he's at this stage just stalling calmly and placidly for the Pershing. Again, caches would be great. He's laying down a lot of mines. In fact, he's still got a ton of munitions floating about as well here. Quick rifle grenade. Oh, and there we go. Got a nice hit in. Got a nice hit in. Picks up the Panzer IV. More Rangers out here for Crytek. Adding in some more elite infantry. Put some pressure on the Krauts. Very nice. Which also I think at this stage population might put him out of range of the Pershing, but at this stage he probably doesn't need it. It could easily just end up being a backup option in case Deimos actually makes some good headway, get some wipes, and then Crytek can just call in the Pershing to pluck up the gaps. Need to pull back the grenades before the lieutenant wipes them out there. 30 kills. Very nice work. 50 covers there, murdering out any German retreating infantry. Not good there for Deimos, and not good at all. Panzer moving rapidly westwards, got Lieutenant going straight for the curve point. Panzer goes to be advancing, I think, a bit there for Deimos. Back 40, hanging back, looking flanking with the rifle inside the house. Not a good development. There we go, another Panzer IV good to go. They still need one to be fixed up here for all three ready to rumble. But here, in the west, the Panzer IV tears apart the Lieutenant, who is not doing well there without any anti-tank weapon or any anti-tank support. Close to getting wiped there, but sadly not quite happening there for Deimos. And for the 6th or 21st Panzer Division, Ranger Squad number 2 out in the open as the Grenadiers and the Panzer IV immediately suffering staggering casualties. Rifling about, need to get those Panzer IVs caught and actually pushing up. We can see they're already now Crytek's putting up here, prepare for the assault. Machine guns in for the anti-tank and just setting up here to basically block up such a ramp. There you go. Bravo Squad pushing too far. That's going to be right here against Crytek. A small victory there for Deimos. And then otherwise I would say a leak situation right now. Jackson's there flying, coming fire through the ruins. Warding off the Panzer IV's going to need to pull off some big assault. He's going to have to somehow bait them into a mine. But he hasn't got a lot of mines down there, sadly, compared to Crytek. There we go, rather than getting blasted by the Panzer IVs. I mean, Deimos is doing some damage, but it's not quite enough to turn the tide. As of yet, there you go, machine gun pioneers might just be able to get past it. He still should get more pioneers out to repair the panzers he's got. 23 kills, 8. Back here in enforcement. More pioneers on the way for Deimos. Sehr good, sehr good. Jackson's watching up for the centre. Got mines nearby and Johnny spotting. There you go. Flanking on the Jackson. Pack 40 opening up as well there. Down to half health. Very good, very good. We could see Jackson go down. Gonna flanking in. There you go. Jackson down. Nice little assault there. Crytek left himself, I think, a bit too wide open. And Deimos punished him. But of course, now the gate's open. The Pershing is out. And Crytek strikes for America. Grenadiers infantry moving ahead here. Assaulted infantry machine guns, they're backing up. Panzer IVs, they're good to go. Rangers moving in. Panzer IVs should be able to deal with that. Pack 4 being flanked by the Rangers, that's a big problem. The Rangers can do that very fast. And there you go. Stop right in the nick of time by the MB42. Got the Jackson moving up. Rangers close to being wiped out. They're close to being wiped out. Pershing moving through. Pack 40 in a bad spot. Panzer IV covering up the flank. This is kind of where it's going to need Stoogs. Pack landing a good hit on the Pershing. Lieutenant being pushed back. Panzer IV down to half health. Hits a mine though. Hits a mine right in front of the Jackson. Horrible there for Deimos. That was his veteran D2 Panzer IV. His most durable one. Almost got the Jackson there, but sadly not quite. In the northwest here, Crytek just opens up another avenue of attack here against unfortunate Deimos, who probably should be doing a bit more in the southeast as well. Gunner's also being taken up with MB-14 in the echelons. Need to be careful. And he needs to coordinate his Panzerforce better. Like, they're a bit too scattered a role, which only makes it easier for Crytek to defeat them in detail, which is not something he's waiting for. There you go. Another Veteran 2 Panzerforce Rangers, they're being obliterated. In the center, the machine gun holds up. But there you go. Crytek is on the ball with a smoke screen, stopping the machine gun from doing any sort of serious support there. Deimos up there. Captain Jones and his Pershing awaits any sign of the Crutch before trying to blast them into bits. And there you go. Direct hit wiping out half the Grenadier squad. The center Panzerforce going in here though. We got Pack 40s and bazookas. They're ready to sort of coordinate this up. There you go. Mine goes off, but almost takes out the entire Western squad. Pack 4 in hand is causing quite a bit of grief. They might small chances with the Panzerforce, but nothing big. Still, that's going to be something that's going to be out of commission for a while there. And Deimos is a bit overextended resource-wise otherwise. Lieutenant Rangers flanking up, getting past the Panther 4, but not far enough. Bit more movement in the east as the west is being lost here to Crytek and the 6th Armoured Division. Pack 40 moving in there. Veteran fleet, Panther Grenadiers, very good. 9 kills. Few dust Vaterland, and we got the Pack 40 moving up there, while the other Pack 40 moves in as well. The only difference is the German Pack 40 is going nothing to blast, whereas the American one will have the Panther 4. There you go, direct hit here. Bad news for Deimos. About to lose it. Main gun out. Almost got the eastern victory point and showing the victory point wise. Deimos is bound to fall behind Crytek as well. He is very much bound to fall behind. Quick rifle grenade on the Rangers, and there we go. Lands an absolutely excellent hit. Almost taking out the entire Ranger squad. Well, there you go, Ace Rangers versus the Grenadiers there. The Grenadiers desperately trying to fall back. Poor Ludwig does not make it, but Heinz and William do. There you go, we've got a heavily damaged Panzer to deal with the Rangers. Despite the absolute horrid condition, he's reasonably confident, but he's just desperate enough to move in either way. It is there, and the Rangers are repulsed. Still, one Pioneer squad has got to be enough in there. Go pushing the center sword here, but the MD-42, which he lost to Crytek. Rifle nature attempted. I think he's going to need a mortar to have a better chance of this sort of attack. Or some tanks. The problem is, again, none of them in a really good condition. Still, some are managed to pull through despite everything, but the Pershing is pretty much ready to ruin the day for Deimos once more. Jack's moving up as well. He's sending in the heavily damaged Panther 4 until he realizes he can't and pulls it back. Very sensibly. Very sensibly. Got the Pack 40 moving up. He's actually called up more Pack 40s rather than more Pioneers. I feel like it's a mistake there by Deimos. There you go, quick smoke screen there. Crytek takes no chances, and there you go, rifle flanking up as well. Very good work. Some nasty maneuvering here. Gunners up, catching the Jackson. They won't be able to do much there with the Panzerfaust, sadly. And Deimos finally goes for an additional Pioneer squad. Got that Panzerfoot veteran to 1. Rangers advancing. Got 2 squads now, but the Grenadiers need to retreat. They're otherwise going to melt. In fact, that's what's happening already. There we go. Like a snowman in Sahara. They just vanished in a matter of seconds. Like, Rangers really can lay down some heavy firepower if you're not careful. And should not be taken lightly. Pinned down, Jackson moving up here. And a direct hit on the Panzer 4, leaving Deimos without a Panzer. Rather than forcing up the Lieutenant flanking up here, striking at the Panzer 4 and not leaving a good situation. Got smoking down here. There we go, Pershing gaining veteran to 1. And more hits off there. And there you go, Deimos surrenders the loss for the German army. A victory for America, freedom, democracy. A nasty fight with a bit too much floating, I think, there from both sides. I think Deimos have really suffered more from in the longer run, since again he's not playing as the Americans. The Americans do a real pack more firepower, but then floating tends not to be less disadvantageous compared to the Germans, who really just need to push resources hard and efficiently, and that's basically what Deimos failed to do. He should have gone for fuel cache, should have pulled for more armor, and considering how little he otherwise used the Doctor, I feel like he'd better off with Jaeger Infantry, actually getting a Jaeger command squad out on top of the Pentagon of these. I think they've done Deimos a lot better here versus Crytek, rather than how weakly he used Lightning War. There was also, I think, some issues with flanking at times, and maybe also some machine gun bunks would have helped. Crytek could have pushed his resources hard as well, though. Made better use of a lot of stuff. They could have gone for a lot more bars. So there's definitely also some room there for improvement for Crytek. And then, of course, he did win. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, and comment on it. This has been Frontline. Cheers. Thank you for watching. And if you like what I do, you can also donate or pledge on Patreon. Links in the video description. Every little bit helps me to keep making videos. So cheers, everybody, and see you all tomorrow for another episode. Bye.